Imagine like you're lifting up like a desk and somebody's like, yeah, pick up that desk, you little slut. Yeah, get that credenza, you little hoe. So Jesus. What
I
the fuck did
feel
I
like
do?
I came in at a weird time.
You are you adding to the joke, or are you like, is that like,
No, I just feel like I came in at a weird time.
you came in at
Yeah,
the
you did.
only time one could have come in?
Mm,
They're all weird
okay.
times, man.
It's some would say the best of times, though.
That's it. Yeah, no, yeah, but yeah, no, people sexualizing just like anything. That's
Yeah.
I told my you remember Ryan from Amazon?
Yeah.
I told him, I was like, dude, my girlfriend loves it. Sarcastically, she hates this. But I was like, if you ever want to like just really please your wife, like whenever you go over a speed bump or a pothole, just make like a vaguely sexual sound. And she's just like, she hates it so much. So I mean, obviously, it's
You're doing something
hilarious.
right.
Yeah. So okay, well, shit. Should I play us in? Should I play the song even though you won't be able to hear it?
How about you play it and when it's over, you say something. So we'll keep quiet until then.
No.
All right, we'll just have to guess.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I like to do
timer.
that. It's like, I don't think I think it's like maybe 25 seconds. I'm not sure that it warrants a timer. But the one day our intro will actually just be regular.
You guys hear the fans in the background?
Not really.
Yeah, I did. I did that as soon as you played the intro, didn't I?
You know you did.
That's awesome.
That's all right. In fact, I think I played the version that doesn't have any lyrics, so I'll just talk over it. Yeah, so second botched intro.
All right.
I mean, if we want to try that again, that's cool.
Nope.
No, we're just all right. Cool.
Yeah,
My bad.
I feel like, no, dude. No, you didn't botch it. I botched it. We botched it, comrade.
Yeah, I was about to say, this is getting real communist up in here.
Yeah, no, I think it makes us more powerful.
Yeah, no, I just had a fan going in the background and an air purifier, and I'm trying to dry my shit out.
Oh no,
So,
yeah, I don't hear too much. I did like
That's
initially.
crazy because when I record via OBS, dude, you can hear that thing so well. If it is on the lowest setting, you're like, yeah, you can hear every bit of it. And I had both of those things on the highest, and
Well, now that you
Discord,
pointed
man.
it out, there is sort of like a weirdo hum when you speak. But
I'm not hearing much.
I heard it like a little. Like if you talk for a period of time. I also realized I
Well-
immediately just fuck it. So you remember when if anybody like actually pays attention to the shit we post or the thing I sent you guys directly, you remember when my buddy Kyle was like, "Hey man, you guys should make them an hour long, good episode." But then he was like,
Yeah.
"Stop!" He was like, "Stop fucking burping!" And immediately when we started this, I burped. So I'm gonna try not to burp as much. But if anybody, for some reason, if somebody out there who sexualizes weird shit like moving desks doesn't want me to stop burping, I guess just let me know in the comments. But I'll try to limit the burp. Dude, it was hilarious. He's like, he texted me today and he's like, "Hey, is Burp Reynolds gonna be a guest today?"
Wow.
I was like, that's a good one. That's a good pun.
Never heard that
Wow.
before.
That's pretty good.
It's
Yeah.
a pretty specific situation. Yeah, we got held up a little because Drew made the classic mistake of trying to better himself. Even though
Right.
I've told him time and time again that isn't for you, but he tried to like get a new headset and it just wasn't working out. So
No.
yeah, like last episode, how you said I was like Zordon. I'm like the techie.
Mhm.
You were the opposite of that, Drew. We had to walk Drew through how to have a Discord.
I found out
Yeah.
today he's not even using the app. He's just going through the browser.
No,
Oh my
Drew.
I know.
I've got it on my phone. I've got it on my phone because that's what I've been using on. I've been only testing things on the. If I found it useful, if I had a headset that works, yeah, I'd use the app. But since I'm not, fuck that.
Dude, that you are a boomer.
Yeah.
Right.
I have never heard of that. That's what would happen after several failed attempts to show my grandma how to do it. That's what she would do.
All right, dude. Hey, man.
That is fucking gold.
It's you're kidding, right? This isn't what I'm saying.
Yeah. Fucking
Dude, Yeah.
Like my dad's 74, and that he might have gotten the app first, honestly, because he can't even use the internet that well. At least an app is just like, you want to install? Yes. Okay, thanks.
Look, I feel your judgment, and I heartily disregard it. I'm not accepting this.
Damn it, I did it again. All right, dude, it's so hard. I'm drinking bourbon and Coke. The last time I was drinking like expired beer.
I'm on my second cherry vanilla Coke with some 153.
Nice.
I don't want to hear your excuses.
Okay, dude. All right. Oh wait, no. I thought we were just like bonding over what we were drinking. I was about to be like, yeah. Well, I'm drinking. Have you guys heard of the Rebel bourbon? It's relatively new, or at least it's new to me because I live under a rock. But it's affordable and it's pretty fucking good, man. It's kind of been like
affordable.
Yeah, like that. And I mean, Ezra Brooks is like a little bit better, but this is pretty good.
Okay, well, you lost me there because Ezra Brooks is not great.
What do you? Yeah, I didn't say it was great. I said it was a little bit better than a bottom shelf whiskey.
Yeah.
Well, you said it's better than this Rebel. Okay, so like if I'm drinking whiskey, I care a little bit about what I'm drinking at that point. So I'm gonna at least get some like Wild Turkey or like a high Jim Beam, you know.
Yeah, dude. But like, how big of a
least
bourbon or whiskey drinker are you? Like, is that like your go-to?
I mean, if I have the cash to spend on like an actual thing I like, yeah, it's gonna be bourbon. If not, unfortunately, 153 is $14.99 for like a liter.
See, but that's the thing is like, I'm a bourbon guy. I only like when it comes to spirits, I almost exclusively drink it. So like, I'd rather drink a bottom shelf bourbon than like a pretty good vodka. So I'm totally cool with drinking like Ezra Brooks.
Yeah, that's fair. I just feel if it's not strong enough to get me going within a few shots, it's not worth drinking.
It's 80 proof, you ding dong, and Ezra is 90 proof.
And that's where it loses me. My like low ball is Wild Turkey 101. That's so you're not even meeting my minimum.
Yeah.
Dude, you guys talk like there's this strict timeline where it's like, oh, you know, instead of having to take like 5 shots, I have to take 8. I can't do that.
Well, I mean
I prefer not to.
Yeah, if I don't feel like I shot 10, though, what's really the point?
You're like, dude, I mean, but you are, though. I mean, because think about it.
Yeah.
You're basically just taking 1.5 shots of the same thing. So it's like, unless you're worried about like, you know, how many calories it takes to lift a single drink to your mouth. Just drink it. Just drink more.
Well, before it was honestly, it did have to do with the calories too, just because I know there's less calories in this cheap and stronger vodka than there is in the whiskey, which has added, you know, sugars and whatnot.
Yeah.
So, and it's going to get me to where I'm going quicker. So calorie wise, it is going to save me on that.
I get that.
I'm not gonna lie, it was kind of like that before. I'm starting to less give a shit. So
no, yeah, dude, no. You though are like into fitness. I'm not. I drink bourbon because I like the way it tastes. Like,
there's a dick in your mouth.
Right, me too. Like I enjoy bourbon. I'd like to have a collection, but if I'm honest with myself, currently I'm drinking too much to warrant a collection. It's gonna go too quick, so there will never actually be a collection.
Yeah, dude, no, there's never been a collection for me. Right now, though, I am sitting on I posted that the other day when we moved in. It's a Lagavulin. It's a 16-year Scotch.
Damn.
That my brother got me for Christmas one year. Yeah, dude, and I crack it out like on special occasions. So I had a couple drinks of it on the night we moved in,
Dude,
but nothing
that's
else
fucking
survives.
awesome. Can I hope one day you'll have a shot of that with me. Because like that is
Yeah, dude,
like the
for
one
sure.
whiskey I have like literally wanted to try for years.
Mm. Yeah, I love Scotch too. Like probably bourbon, and then Scotch is like my second favorite. Just I like it, but it's like it's expensive, and
Yeah.
I mean, there's some expensive bourbons too, but I just like the bite of bourbon. Nothing quite. It's like something like a lot of people that don't like bourbon don't like, but like if it's not kicking me in the face, like that's another thing I love about bourbon is you hold it in your mouth and it just like bites. Love that feeling.
Yeah.
I feel like that's any alcohol like that. No, I
It's
know what you
not.
mean. But
It right, but I don't there's no other alcohol I enjoy drinking just in a cup and just sipping on.
Yeah,
Like I
like I'll
can
just
with
sit there and
bourbon.
just enjoy a bourbon exactly like, and it doesn't kick the same. Like me and my brother were drinking just like regular whiskey, like, and it's just not the same as bourbon. I don't know. It just kicks different. A lot of every
yeah,
alcohol, every spirit kicks, but bourbon like it's almost like a spice kick thing to the mouth. I don't know how to describe it.
Yeah.
I'm not a burbologist.
I love that word.
well, I mean, I think most dark spirits sort of all have that sort of like oaky taste. Like this, I don't know what the wrong word, but it just tastes dark. You know what I mean? Like smoky or like shit like that.
I thought when you
Maybe
said
I'm
dark spirits, we were going like like evil ghosts. I thought we were segue. I thought we were gonna do a segue.
I mean, you want to talk about ghosts? I can talk about ghosts.
back to the ghost and a bitch thing.
Yeah, dude, I got to share
Rounding
my
back
fucking
already.
fucked up ghost story with my girlfriend finally because I waited till we moved to tell her because I didn't want to freak her out. Did I share that story with you guys? I think I did, but I'm not
Mm,
sure we were. Maybe I didn't. Maybe it was off mic, but I don't really remember. Anyway, having this fucking crazy dream. This is back when we were still staying with her parents, right? So I was like, I'm waiting until move date to tell her this. So I had to wait like a month and a half to share this story with her. But so I'm having this dream, and in the dream, like we are in a new place, probably because it was on my mind. And there's like this like portrait that's the frame of the portrait's like fixed to the wall. It's part of the wall. It just kind of protrudes from it. And inside of the portrait is a like this oil painting of this this lady, like old timey lady, 17th century or something. I don't know. Anyway, I can like telepathically communicate with portrait lady. So like as I'm painting, I'm putting like a new layer of paint down over the frame, same color that it already was. I'm just putting a fresh layer down, and I guess I was like kind of sassy because I'm like, this is my house now. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, I'm really glad I get to pick the colors for my new house, and she's basically just like, yep, yeah, looks good, blah blah. Anyway, I get pissed and I take the brush and I slash across the painting itself, like over the woman. Next thing dream logic, she's just coming at me. And I turn around and she's wearing the dress from the painting, but like instead of having a face or hair or anything like that, it's just canvas stretched over her. And like you can
ugh.
vaguely see like that it was the painting just sort of stretched on her face. And like she starts like coming at me so fast I can't get away. And like I'm backing away, but I can't back up any farther. And her face is like touching my face, and I can feel her lips moving against my face, like from under the canvas.
What the fuck?
I wake up, and dude, like next to the fucking bed is like this weird, vaguely humanoid light shape. It looks like a combination of light and like petroleum jelly, or I don't know what it fucking. So my immediate response is like to reach my hand out because I'm still just open my eyes, and I just goes right through it and it disappears. And I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
Wow. What the fuck?
you might have a ghost.
Well, we moved out of that house. We don't have anything.
Well, man, no. Have you ever seen the Paranormal Activity movies? They follow the person, not the place.
It's true.
Hey, listen, dude. First off, that's not always the case. Sometimes ghosts haunt locations. Sometimes demons follow people.
Yeah, I'd say it's ghost dependent, like you're saying, and you're probably just gonna have to wait some time to see if this ghost did follow you, or if indeed you're good.
That or like I'm like ghost agnostic, like so I'm like it could have been I just woke up from this weirdo dream. There's still chemicals firing in my brain, like sleep paralysis kind of junk. Because I'm me, I just went right back to bed. Like when I told people that story, they were like, "What the fuck? Oh, I would never sleep there again." I was like, "Dude, I literally was like weird," and then went to sleep. Because it's like it could be something. Like there's always that little piece in the back of my brain that was like, "Dude, was like this weirdo entity like standing in like its face to my face while I slept, and I like woke up and caught it."
Yeah, it's.
But Occam's
I mean,
razor says it was just some weirdo hallucination.
I told you about that time I put a target, like a man-shaped target, on my wall because I was pretty proud of the shot, right?
Right. Yes. Yeah, you did tell me this.
Yeah, and I just woke up and it's a shadow of a man with bullet holes in it, and it just fucking terrified. I couldn't go back to sleep after that.
And you actually found out what it was and still couldn't sleep.
Yeah,
I think I touched a light jelly ghost and just went back to bed.
Well, I mean, at least now I know who you are in the movie. Like, I can disregard you pretty well.
Dude, now I'm the hero of the movie. You're the yellow belly.
Nah, the skeptic always gets killed because he's skeptic.
Well, dude, when I woke up, like for the first few days after this, even though I reasoned with myself, I was convinced this was something. Because I've never seen anything that tangibly fucking crazy weirdo before.
Yeah.
So I think it was just stupidity.
I mean, that tends to.
Yeah, like, you know what I mean? Where it's just like, I can't say it was bravery. I was just kind of like, well, dang. Well,
I'm up now.
Time to go back to bed. What am I going to do? Punch it if I stay awake? Yeah, what, I gotta call the police?
I mean,
it's like the ghost gun thing.
Yeah, well, then you're more likely to be shot by the cops than killed by the ghosts. I mean, pick your poison, really.
Then I'll go to the other side and beat the fuck out of that ghost with my new ghost fists.
I mean, not if he has better training. I feel like if this thing can astral project and do all sorts of weird things, you stand no chance as a fresh ghost.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like what if it's just like an immediate? You just have every skill as soon as you just wake up on the other side. Like, whoa.
You just become God mode ghost.
Just because you have every skill doesn't mean you know how to use every skill.
That's true, man. That's true. You would have to have like an immediate matrix download of knowledge.
Yeah, because like
knowledge of how everyone has used it ever before.
Yeah, like I bought a car, and I still don't know what everything does in there. So like I have access to everything, but I just don't know what it does.
Dude, I feel that. I've had my car for like 2.5 years, and I just now like found that I could just. It always irritated me when you go into reverse and it activates the backup camera. It reduces the volume of like whatever you're listening to. So I'm trying to like listen to music and like do a roundabout or back into a space, and it just keeps cutting it. And I'm like, and you can turn that off apparently. I just dealt with that for 2 years.
Huh. Well, I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah. There's a few dude, you know, our icebreaker was supposed to be what movie could you like live in? But I think we just opened up with Drew talking about sexualizing a man moving a desk, which broke the ice. Broke the ice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to go back to what movie you'd like to survive in, I mean, I could do that.
Hey, wait, hold up. Is it survive in? That's a very different topic. Or like just a movie environment or world you would want to live in.
Okay, so yeah, those are very different.
They're very different. I thought it was live in.
Yeah, no, that's the way I prescribed it.
Yeah, because survive in, I mean, dude, I'm going to pick, obviously, like, Sound of Music. I could survive in that.
Right. We don't have to get too crazy with this.
Now, Caleb, answer me this. Why do you think you could survive in Sound of Music? Would you join the Nazis? Is that what you're saying?
You know what, dude? I'm just gonna be transparent. My knowledge of the Sound of Music begins and ends with the title of the movie. I thought it just sounded innocent and easy. There's Nazis in it? All right, never mind. I picked poorly.
It's about World War II.
What?
Oh.
Yeah.
Dark.
Yeah, they're
Oh,
like,
fuck.
there's a part where they escape. It's a fucking wild thing. It's just the fact that it's called The Sound of Music that people think it's so innocent, but no, there's Nazis in it.
Well, fuck me. All right. Damn. Good thing this isn't like a genie situation. I'd be fucking not in a great spot. So that's not my choice then. But what movie, like Chris, it was your icebreaker you came up with. What movie would you want to, or like, is it just movies or like TV series, anything, video games?
Yeah, I mean, it's like, I guess what, maybe I should have specified more because it shouldn't be just like any jolly old movie because that makes it too easy. You know, it should be like what kind of like action or fantasy movie, maybe.
Something we
Could you
think
see
would be
yourself?
challenging, but we think we could overcome.
Yeah,
Okay.
right.
Okay.
You know, because you're right,
Then
where it's like
that's
you
easy.
can
The
you
Sound of
can't have
Music.
such an easy choice.
Army of Darkness.
Army of Darkness. Ooh, that's really good.
Yeah, you just go in there and with enough stupid confidence, you just run shit.
That's true. And Drew, if you have anything, it's unwarranted confidence.
Oh, 100%. I think that's tattooed on my forehead.
So I think you got that.
Yeah, no,
Shit, dude, I don't know. Maybe I don't know, man. I don't have that many
it's
like
honestly tough.
that many viable
And, like,
skills.
We didn't
My
really talk
philosophy-
about this before. I'm sorry, go ahead.
My philosophy of it is like, whatever you pick, you're, I'm assuming we're still kind of ourselves. That must mean there's kind of a special reason. So you kind of get bonus points. Like, if you went to Star Wars, you'd probably be, have a chance to be like a Jedi.
You know
than
what?
average.
First off, you're talking about like script immunity. I feel like that's a cheat code, but I think maybe Star Trek.
Yeah, that's fair.
I could vibe in a Star Trek world because I'm like, it's organized enough that it's not chaos. Like it's dangerous, but like, I got this. Like you can learn me a thing or two and I'll be a productive member of this ship, even if I'm just doing dumb shit.
Quick question.
Yeah.
What's your favorite color?
Favorite color? Dude, it changes all the time. Right now, I'm kind of like, I've been on a kick with red.
See, you die in Star Trek. Red shirts die.
I didn't say I'd wear red. You don't wear your color.
Your
You don't listen, dude. You don't join
it's your
a
favorite
fucking
color,
military force, and they're like, "What's your favorite color? Here's your uniform." No, you fucking wear what your rank.
Hey, prove me wrong. I don't know
Okay.
anything about Star Trek.
Also, yeah, no. I mean, it's the military, so it's like you don't join the army and then you get like purple camouflage because you like purple.
Yeah, but it's utopian. It's not.
Yeah, but it's also not. I mean.
Their goal is exploration, not combat, as far as I know.
Yeah, but like, there's still like, do you think that's not really like, no, it's like a military thing. They have like naval ranks.
Yeah.
And like, and there are no red shirts. The red shirt thing stopped with after the original iteration. Like by the time you get to Next Generation, there's no more red shirt stuff.
Yeah, people saw through it.
Yeah, which I appreciate that, but I just love that. It just made me think of that like logic of just being like, well, welcome to the team, Private. What's your favorite color?
Well, so you want to know my Star Trek knowledge is I've heard there is one episode, I think it might be Next Generation, where it's like that episode of Futurama where an 80s businessman is unthawed and he's just told that it's a moneyless society and he's losing his mind. He's like, but I had stocks and bonds. They're worth millions. And they're worth nothing now? And everybody's like, yeah. He's like, well, what do I do then? He's like, there's no money. What do you want to do? Well, he's like, what about my Lamborghini? He's like, you can still have a Lamborghini. And he just can't fathom that he's not a billionaire anymore. He's like, my socks.
Yeah, dude. No, yeah, dude. That's why I love Next Generation was my shit. But that's what was so good about it. That and the Twilight Zone, like I think it was ahead of its time and like introducing like challenging concepts to people in an entertaining way.
Yeah.
Like Gene Roddenberry, he was pretty good about that. Like Twilight Zone almost got like kind of like proto canceled because it was like commenting on racism and stuff like that, and people were like uncomfortable with it.
Yeah, the first interracial kiss on TV, I do believe.
Really? I didn't know that. I know that like there's some episodes, yeah, that like people were just like, whoa, and like he was like, well, I mean, I'm just gonna do it anyway, or you can cancel the show.
Yeah, I think the story goes that he said he was in the script. It calls for him to kiss Uhura, I think her name is, and William Shatner was like, okay, we're going to do takes where I kiss her and we're going to do takes where I don't. And whichever one works better, we'll use that one so that, we don't have to make this decision right now. And he purposely fucked up every take that he didn't kiss her. So they had to have the interracial kiss on TV.
Oh, okay. Sorry, dude. I'm catching up. I thought you meant Twilight Zone. You're talking about Star Trek. Okay.
Yeah.
When you said Shatner, I was like, what?
Oh, yeah, my bad.
No, you're good. You're good. But yeah, no, that's cool. I don't know how much. I guess we can credit Gene Roddenberry as well as William Shatner for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, Rod Sterling, he's the dude who made Twilight Zone, and he was kind of the same way. Like he was just like, I'm just gonna do this. Rod Serling. I always say Sterling. It's not Sterling. It's Serling. There's no T.
Huh. Was he the guy who was behind like Tales from the Crypt, those types of things?
I don't believe so.
Who was behind that?
I don't know. Let's check. Yeah, because like Rod Serling was he died in 1975, so he definitely was not behind Tales from the Crypt.
Yeah.
I'm not. I don't just know that like you do with your weirdo shit. I googled it. Oh God! I almost just broke my Middle Earth map with my fat ass.
Damn.
Let's see. Tales from the Crypt was
William Gaines and Stephen Dude or Dodd.
It's definitely Dodd. I don't know who taught you English.
It might be Dude. Television.
It's DODD. Why would that be Dude?
I don't know. You look at the word shillelagh and it's not spelled like that at all.
Yeah, that's Gaelic. Everything falls apart with Gaelic.
How do you know that that's Gaelic? That's what I want to know.
All right. I know it's Gaelic because it's a fucked up word that is not pronounced how it's spelled. I'm just kidding. I mean, I'm not, but we used to play it when we were playing D&D. Somebody kept casting a spell, and the spell was called Shillelagh, and it would give you like a magical Shillelagh. Except I kept saying Shillilag because that's how it's spelled. So I was like, yeah, like you got your Shillilag, and I said it like 4 or 5 times. And my brother kept looking at me like sideways, but he was like, huh, I mean, magic words are weird. So then eventually I somehow it comes up contextually what he's wielding, and my brother just fucking loses it for like 2 minutes, and finally I'm like, what, man? He's like, dude, it's a shillelagh. And I was like, oh.
Oh, wow. I might start calling it like that then, because I've always heard
shillelagh.
Well, no, I like shillelagh.
Shillelagh. It could be you say whatever you want. It's Gaelic. There are no rules.
Like O'Shaughnessy.
What is that?
It's just like a common last name, but it's spelled like O'Shag Hennessy.
Oh, yeah. That's a perfect example of what I mean. Yeah. I mean, it sounds cool. Like, I love that shit. For being Scottish and Irish, I can't. There's no genetic knowledge of how to say that shit. It did not come through. I only got the alcoholism.
Damn. 2 out of 3.
Oh, that's fine, though. I'd rather have the most entertaining disease than be able to say stupid words.
If alcoholism is a disease, then that is one sickness I can definitely get down with.
I feel like it's totally functional too. Like I can not drink for long periods of time, and there's no ill effect.
I mean,
I just like to drink.
We're not like soccer moms who pour just a thing of whiskey in a water bottle and then drive their kids to soccer practice.
No.
Yeah.
For a number of reasons.
That's where I think I could at least. I'm pretty sure in that situation I would wait till afterwards.
Yeah,
we'd get home with the kids
for sure,
and I'll pour like half that bottle in that bitch. Yeah,
and then go fuck the pool boy. Then you fuck the pool boy.
Well, yeah. Oh, he's drunk so quick I don't even know who the pool boy is.
Chris is out here drinking 121, fucking the pool boy. Maybe that's why I don't drink that proofage. I'm like, I'm not even gay, and I just fucked that guy.
It's not the alcohol for parents.
Oh, I thought you were gonna be like, it's not the alcohol that caused you to fuck the pool boy. He's like, I was bone dry sober. I don't know what you're talking about.
It wasn't the alcohol. It was his arms. Okay, like leave it alone.
Uh,
Although swinging back though, that made me, I don't know why that made me think of that. Chris, you never said what world you'd live in.
Honestly, I didn't really have much time to prepare for this, but I'll just go Pacific Rim because that's a world where like I mean, it's just so cool. I want to be one of those pilots, and I'd actually pick Drew as my like partner because we've been working together for so long. We have this like sixth sense with each other when we're working, where we just know the moves that each other needs to make, and we're going to do.
Yeah,
Like
Oh, yeah.
we don't communicate when we work; we just do,
we look.
and it works.
dude, yeah,
You
no, I
know
know
what
what
I
you
mean?
mean. That's two things there. One, the first Pacific Rim is a good ass movie.
God, it
Uh,
is.
and two, yeah, that's when I worked at the last restaurant I was at, Beef O'Brady's, like
Mhm.
our kitchen, I loved it because like we were all pretty unique personalities from all over different walks of life, but like you knew someone was gonna fit into the kitchen or not immediately based on just how, like you were saying, it was like that unspoken, like when I go left to slide, it was a skinny kitchen. When I slide to the make line and you slide behind me to get to the fryer, we don't say anything. We just do it that way.
Right.
And
Yeah.
it just works. And we like the four, there were like 4 or 5 people there and we all had that. And then if somebody came in, within a few months, if they didn't have that, we're just like, they're just not, they're going to quit. And then they would.
When I was in middle
Uh,
school, there were like the first day I went to middle school. It was weird. It was that same thing. Like this kid sat next to me, and I looked at him. I was like, me and this dude are probably gonna be friends. And then we were. There was no like, I think I like this dude. I was just like, I bet you this dude and me would be cool.
Yep. It just, you don't have to do it. I've tried to make myself have a good dynamic with somebody just because I have to. And it's just, I can't.
no, you really can't. And that's so weird that you bring that up because I never thought about it. But there was like one of my best friends in high school because I moved around a lot, so it was often I had to find a new best friend, you know.
Same, man. Same.
Yeah.
Right. And there was this dude that was just like the relationship, the friendship did not make sense really. Like if you looked at us like from the social standpoint or whatever, did not make fucking sense at all. But for some reason, we fucking clicked together, and it fucking one of the best dudes I've ever known.
Yeah, dude. If it just,
No.
you can't synthesize chemistry. It's like relationships. I mean, friendships are just a kind of relationship. People always say
Right.
with romantic relationships, but I mean, dude, yeah. I mean, there's even family members. Like I have, you know what I mean? Like some people are just like, I've really tried to get along with this uncle, but like I just can't. I hate him.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to keep the peace, but like the best thing I can do to keep the peace is just fucking avoid them and just avoid the
Yeah.
trigger in the first place. Otherwise, Thanksgiving's gonna get weird.
See, my family is weird enough to where we lean into it. Nobody gets like offended or assaulted or any sort of wrongdoing. You might leave and be like, man, that guy's a dick, but there's no like topic where we won't just immediately be like, nah, fuck that, fuck you. I swear to God, shut up.
Yeah, that's good. I guess you've reached a homeostasis. Our family, like, I feel like it's like when you're in between, like when you're in between two radio stations for people that still listen to the radio.
Yeah, and there's that.
Yeah.
And it's
Static.
like you're getting 2 things happening at once.
Mhm.
If there could be 6 things happening at once, that's like what it's like to be with my family. They're all just going parallel to one another, cross talking, and then every now and again you'll get like a conversation for 5 minutes and then it just deficits out in a new direction.
Yeah, it just sort of
Yeah.
bounces.
Yeah. And it freaks people out. Like when my girlfriend was first, she's just like, this is very overstimulating. I was like, yeah, I know. I know. I know.
Yeah.
And I want
my-
to. Go ahead, Chris.
I'll say my family is just very like we acknowledge that we're all family, but we'll also probably talk to each other once, maybe twice a year for like 5 to 10 minutes. And that'll be more than enough. If I don't hear you for a few years, that's okay too.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't know, man.
Or-
Like, would you describe yourself as like close to your family? I guess I know that might be a dumb.
No.
Yeah, that's kind of a stupid ass question, considering what you just said. But yes, everybody's different. You know?
Yeah, nah, like I barely know anyone on my mom's side of the family. I barely know anyone on my dad's side of the family. When you're like when you're a good 20 plus years younger than just about everyone in your family, you know, you're just not
yeah,
on the same wavelength.
Yeah.
for sure. As much as I believe in the ability to overcome generational gaps, because I have a lot of friends that are younger than myself. And when I was younger, I used to have a lot of friends that were older than myself. But like, you have to be willing, and so the default setting is, I can't relate to you. You guys are all fucking weird. This generation's broken.
See, I found that I can make friends with anybody of any age. Like today, I met a 17-year-old who was illegally working where I work, maybe.
Was he the pool
And
boy?
close. He was a mover. So, you know,
Oh,
shit.
shit.
But you know, we struck up a conversation, and then like every time I saw him, he's like, "Hey man, what up?" And he's showing me like TikTok videos, and I'm like, "Yeah, man, like fucking A." But then I can
Yeah.
also be super cordial with a man in his 70s and be like, "Well, isn't this cattywampus?" And he'll be like, "You're damn right it is." But I don't think you can do that with family.
It's harder with family because there, I don't know what the ingredient is. Maybe some of it is like when most people, not everybody, but most people, when you're talking to coworkers or strangers and stuff, like, you have somewhat of a mask.
Yeah.
And family usually doesn't do that. Family's just like, listen, I have no reason to lie to you. I hate the way you think politically. You're like, cool. This has been a good. Well, how did this come up? We're at Steak and Shake. You know, I'm just trying to show you a meme, and then you're just like, politics. And you're like, what the fuck? What?
You show you show them a picture of Forrest Gump, and then they're like, "Yeah, I heard he
Oh.
eats babies."
Yeah, and then all of
Yep.
a sudden you're estranged from the family.
I haven't had to deal with that too much because my family, like, my mom was adopted, and she doesn't, like, it wasn't until like the last few years in her 60s that she started to even start to actually make progress learning about her biological family. And
Yeah.
and then after, like, my parents divorced when I was pretty young, and we didn't really have much to do with my dad's side of the family after that. So like, really, it's just my mom and my siblings, and then like there was my grandparents and my uncle and my cousin, and that was it. That's all I had to deal with. So it was like, I hate you, and then but we all live in the same fucking house, so I guess I'll just stomp over here, and then 5 minutes later be like, all right, well, I don't know, what do you want to do?
Yeah, because like I'm estranged from my mom, so I'm completely disconnected from that entire side of the family. So that's like half of the family get-togethers I just don't have to do.
Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily a bad thing.
No,
Oh,
no,
for
it's
sure.
awesome.
Yeah, the small my family is small but constantly in crisis, so I don't get that. I feel like we make up
See, I
for a
guess-
lack of numbers by a numerous amount of terrible life choices.
See, then that's one thing with my family. Like, so my dad's side of the family is they're all older, and they're all farm fed, raised, like grew up on farms. They're all boomers from that age, you know. And so, if you weren't like that, if you weren't your bootstrap kind of guy, they didn't like you. And especially with the new generation, you were not you were a lazy fuck from day one, because that's all they knew of any newer generation is they're lazy.
Yeah, I
And
get that,
then-
man. I get that.
My mom's side is like just these hick kind of like, you know, same conservative type of mindset, but just country as fucks. All half of them are on doing heroin or meth, some sort of one or the other. I don't know how many I've lost to ODing and shit. So that side I just like completely stay away from by choice. They're actually closer than they've ever been now that I'm here in Ohio. But it's just
That's a lot. Yeah, dude. No, there's a demographic to that because I know I could feel as you were doing that, like struggling with like what words to use to describe that demographic. But if you're not from like the Midwest or the South, you might not know the demographic that you're trying to describe. But like, I do get it. Like,
it's very prevalent here.
It's something to do with, it's a prevalent thing. It's not exactly political. It's not exactly cultural. It's a combination of like the perfect storm of opioid crisis meets Midwest South meets politics. I don't know what it is, but
yeah, no, it's funny how they're all on the same political coin side.
Absolutely.
But everybody grew up poor.
Totally different worlds,
Oh, for sure. It is the exact type of people that would show up for the storm on January 6th.
Yeah, one side's like was poor and just kind of leaned into it, The other side's like they work their ass off to get to like middle class or even a little bit better,
Yeah, for sure, dude. And it sucks to talk about like, because I mean, dude, for the most part, I have a lot of friends and family that are kind of fit some of that bill. So, but like, there's elements to that. I don't know. I feel like when certain people see me, you know what I mean? Like, I'm from Kentucky. I love country music. I have cowboy boots. I wear jeans, shit like that. So people might see me and have that projection and be like, oh, I basically know what kind of person this is. But people are usually kind of like, once they get to know me past that point, would be like, oh, that's weird. Like, you're not at all like that. And I'm just like, yeah, I mean, can't judge a book by its cover. So I always try to let people prove me wrong. Because, like, I have friends that are conservative, and then I have friends that are the word I don't know what, that is like that kind of people.
Yeah.
I'm not really conservative. I'm maybe like, I think that political typography where it has like the 6 spectrums. I think I landed as like the most conservative liberal on that spectrum, which makes sense for me. I'm a very middling person. I'm very but I'm very much about compromise.
Like, I haven't taken that test, but I feel like I'd land on like the most liberal conservative side.
We're touching.
That's
tips.
The thing. I'm not like against. I'm honestly more conservative in a lot of ways, but
then you have Drew, who was there on January 6th.
Conservatism is pretty intense.
I was there on January 6th handing out leaflets to be like, "This is why socialism is the devil."
No, I get to let people in on that joke. Drew is like he's just a full-fledged commie.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He's a tanky. He's not a tanky. He's a social democrat?
Yeah. Wasn't that like a big part on the last one that we like weren't able to record that well?
Where we talked about Drew's illness?
Drew being a commie. Yeah.
I'm playing.
Same thing, Yeah,
dude, my brother, he's a social democrat, and he's a fucking one of the coolest dudes I know. So, unlike Drew, I'm kidding. All or nothing?
Oh, a harm reduction,
Oh, I thought you said all or nothing. I was like, that's a tough place to reason with, but continue.
Yeah, I mean, if it doesn't involve me, I'm either here to help or get out of the way. I don't need to put anything against anybody, you know what I mean? Like if somebody wants to go to their job in a full-on furry suit and they're not fucking up their job, if they're like a telemarketer, fuck it, I don't give a shit.
Telemarketer is the move for that description because, I mean, it's going to hurt door-to-door sales.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, like I can't really see really many scenarios where that's not going to hurt your job.
But
unless you like are a costume, maybe you
work at Walmart,
a costume model, or just a professional cosplayer, if that's a thing.
Somebody out there is making money from it. So, but
that's true.
For to bounce off of what you meant, though, the sentiment of what you mean, I can't find an issue with if it doesn't affect me, I'm here to either help or get out of the way. I don't have a problem with that statement. I get the sentiment of that completely.
Yeah, because like there was a time I was at work. I think I've told you this, but I'll tell it on air for anybody who doesn't know. But there was this first shift guy, who had blue hair, and he was kind of dork, like a full on D&D dork.
Fuck yeah, I love
And
D&D.
Yeah, and he came in one day with elf ears, like just little hook-ons he could put over his other ears.
Yeah, like you can get them at the Ren Fair and shit.
Yeah, that's exactly my thought. I was like, he's probably going to the Ren Fair. I had no problem with that. I was like, oh, cool. He's having fun. He's making his day more enjoyable without any sort of drawback. There's no drawback.
He's just new ear goofing.
Yeah. This one woman comes in, sees him, and just gets this sourpuss, like, just smelled a fart underneath her nose. She says, what is he doing? What is he wearing? That's fucked up. Why is he doing that? And I'm like, he's having fun, man. Leave him alone. Like, what do you care? He's like, what are people going to say? He's like, fuck them. Who cares what they're going to say?
Oh, for sure. Especially with like jobs I tend to work. Like, fucking, what are you worried about the optics in this warehouse?
Exactly.
Yeah. No, it's like, as long as you're not like hurting or harming anything or anyone around you, and you're not pushing your shit onto anyone else, like if you don't do what I'm doing, then you're evil and wrong.
Right.
Then I don't give a fuck. Like, I went to Ulta Beauty the other day to buy some shit for Sam.
To impress the school,
And-
the pool boy.
Yeah.
Dude, I almost
Right.
said
You got
schoolboy.
me.
This is just keeps
Oh,
making you into a
no.
horrible person. But continue.
Oh no. Anyway, so I go there and I get this face wash and lotion that I knew what I was getting. All right, good. But she wanted this body wash from there, and I'm trying to surprise her. I don't know what she wants. And
Right.
I'm just like, I'm in the dark. Okay, so I find one of the guys there, and I ask him to help me find it. And this dude is glammed up. Okay, is this black guy that is just glammed up to the nines, like make RuPaul proud. Okay,
There you
and
go.
like
And Rand Paul too.
Oh no,
They got to be related.
Or-
Are they
Anyway.
related to Paul?
Why did you sound like you were 10 feet away from the mic when you said that?
Because I was very apprehensive.
Okay. But sorry, I totally fucking threw a wrench in your spokes. Continue.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So anyway, this dude is just he's looking great. So like he helps you find this awesome lotion or body wash. And he's like, everyone here is loving it. Feels like I've lotioned already after I'm out of the shower. I'm like, you know what? That sounds great.
Yeah.
Get it? And I still was like, you know what? By the way, you look fantastic, because this dude went all out. Like,
Right.
I don't float that way, but I'm just still going to give a comment like, you ain't harming nobody. Dude, that probably made his day. You know, make him feel good. Why not?
Oh, for sure, dude. Actually, it's you at Amazon one time. You had said to me, Chris, I said something. I can't remember what it was. I think it may have been just commenting on how well I got along with you and Drew.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
And just how easy you guys are to talk to. But like one thing you said that I really liked is you said, you're like, yeah, I've been trying this thing recently where like if I think of something nice to say, I just say it. I don't like try to hesitate or stuff like that. Like, just do it. And I feel like that's a good rule. Cause like the other day, like I text my brother cause this YouTube channel has been doing really good, like taking off. And he's put a lot of work into it. And so like, I was like, you know what? I've never even fucking said anything about that. So I just texted him like, dude, I'm really proud of you for like, it's hard to be vulnerable and put yourself out there. Like, so I'm proud of you for like opening yourself up to that criticism and putting in all that work. I see what you're doing, man. And it's really cool. And so I literally thought of what you said when I sent him that. Cause I was like, you know, instead of just sitting here thinking about it, I should say something.
Yeah. Like, really, because why not? Like, what's the worst that's going to happen is you don't get a text back. Fine, whatever. It is what it is.
Right.
But like to the point I was kind of getting to is like those compliments can go such a long way for people when there is so many people that will, to like what Drew was saying earlier, just hate on somebody for no reason, for elf ears that have nothing to do with them, that isn't harming them at all. Like I
Right.
was at work not too long ago and a bunch of the office and warehouse people were having to work together because we're having to redo our showroom, right? And this lady and another guy were talking about this lesbian girl that works for our commercial side, and like talking shit about how like she looks like kind of a dude. And it's just like, why? Like she's not doing anything except helping you get your showroom back in working order.
Yeah, dude.
And doing a good job at it. So how about you keep your comments to yourself and just go say thank you?
Yeah.
Because it's the fucking low hanging fruit for sure. Like when it comes to stuff like that, like if I have an issue with somebody, like it generally, like I'm not going to sit here and pretend I'm a saint. Everybody forms preconceptions and judgments, and that,
Right.
but like I'm not. I try not to just be an animal. And be like, you know, like I have the
Right.
preconception. I'm like, that's ignorant, dude. Or like, I can't just think this person's going to be a bad person because he's dressed X away or something like that. The low hanging fruit with that kind of shit is like have an issue with somebody because of their character.
Right.
Like, don't just be like, oh, they're fat. Oh yeah, really
Yeah.
clever. Like that's awesome. Yeah, that has so much to do with what they have to offer.
Dude, like everyone has their impulsive thoughts right off rip about anyone and anything.
Mm-hmm.
It's what we do with those thoughts that makes the person, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, anyway, that's about as far as I had to go with that.
Anyway, that's how we met the pool boy.
On a lighter note, I have a topic that would be very funny to discuss, or at least a tale to tell you.
Spit in my mouth.
All right. It might take a few minutes, but I figure, we're on a podcast. Why not?
Yeah, dude. I think we're gonna call it here. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Have you ever heard of a comic book character called Howard the Duck?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So, the Howard the Duck, for people who don't know, is just like a detective duck who was made by a guy named Steve Gerber back in 1973, I think.
Did he come up with the Gerber baby grow up plan?
Yeah, he did. He was the baby at the time. He did grow up. He's dead now, too.
Oh.
But
wow.
Back in the day, if you created something for Marvel, you didn't own it. It was owned by the company.
Right.
So, if it sold 2 million copies, he didn't see any extra money. And Howard the Duck at the time was fairly popular, weirdly. And he wants more money, and Marvel just doesn't give it to him. And right around this time, it's after the movie comes out in like 86. So he's just like, I'm done working for Marvel. I'm going to go to a place called Image Comics, where if you create a character, you own it, all the rights, everything. So he creates a character called Destroyer Duck. And, he continues to write this for a few years. And then he gets a call from Marvel that says, hey, would you be interested in maybe writing a story for Howard the Duck? And he goes, no, I'm not going to do that. And it's like, all right. But he gets a call from another guy who worked at Image. I can't remember his name. It might be like Will Spatio or something like that, who created Destroyer Dragon or Savage Dragon. And he says, hey, do you want to do a crossover with me? And he goes, wait a minute, I have an idea. So he calls Marvel back up and says, I will write Howard the Duck for you if I can cross it over with my character, Destroyer Duck, who was also crossing over with Savage Dragon at the time. And Marvel's like, yeah, sure, I see no problem with that. So they let him write it. And it's two separate comic books coming out at the same time, one in Marvel, one in Image, where they're all going through their own separate storyline. But both of them revolve around a villain called the Elf with a Gun. That's his whole thing. He's just an elf with a gun with magic powers. And it's a wacky fucking little comic book. But at the end of it, the elf with a gun creates thousands of clones of Howard the Duck. And at the end of the comic, the day is saved. They defeat him, and then the real Howard the Duck, quote unquote, goes back to his universe in Marvel. In that comic. But in the Image comic, there's a few extra panels where it shows the real Howard the Duck, like the original Howard the Duck, being grabbed by Destroyer Duck and taken into the Image universe, where he then where he's rebranded Larry the Duck or something like that.
Ooh,
Dude.
clever
And
girl.
They even say it in the comic. He's like, no, they think they have the real one, but it's just a clone. We have the original.
Dude, that's badass.
And then he died, so
really...
they can't do anything about it.
Dude, that's
wow.
That's honestly like one of the most fucking punk rock ways of doing that. I love that.
That really is so epic.
Right?
What a way to say fuck you.
Yeah, how do you just so petty to be like, no, fuck you. It's my character. I'm taking him to the Image. So he owns, Larry the Duck or Leonard the Duck.
Dude, that is like, those like moments in movies where like someone's way too complicated plot gets like expositionally explained, and they're like, and then I did this and that and this.
Yeah.
Like anime does it. Like I feel like that guy did that in real life.
Oh, 100%. But like, I love that everybody who knew about it, because he told a few people at Image, and they were like, "Oh, you've got to fucking do it."
Yeah, dude, that's awesome. And I'm all about like creators keeping like rights and access to their own shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like, dude, like this might sound weird, but like, do you remember the whole like Metallica Napster controversy stuff back in the day? Like, yes, they have excessive amounts of money, and so it seems babyish to be like bitching about that, but like, there were elements of what he said that, like, looking into how the future of music and media has gone, they were kind of right about it. Because a huge issue with Metallica was lacking the rights to their own issues. They had the money to buy the rights to their own music back, but not every artist does. And nowadays, if you're just trying to write some music and make a living, good fucking luck. It's all about touring and merchandise, because who buys an album?
Yeah, and like streaming doesn't mean anything anymore. You get like, for every 1,000 plays, you get like a penny.
Yeah, exactly. Like, so, yeah, Lars is kind of a tool bag, but at the same time, like, damn, yeah, maybe they saw ahead on some of that stuff and were like, guys, this isn't gonna look good.
Yeah.
No, you're all right for that. Like,
but I mean,
I don't understand how they make as much money as they do with streaming and like YouTube Music and shit the way it is.
Right?
Well, funnily enough, Napster is still around, and they still stream music, and they pay out more than every other streaming service. So like, if you listen to a song on Napster, the people who get the money get so much more of the dollar that you actually spend.
Well, that would be really helpful if anybody except you knew Napster was still a thing.
Yeah.
Right.
I thought that was a little fun fact. It was a little fun fact.
Probably why it's not too big.
Somebody out there is just watching their favorite show on Quibi and listening to their favorite artist on Napster. Somebody's doing it.
I want to meet that guy.
I do too.
It's Drew.
I didn't watch
and it's the only one. He's the only one.
No, you have a very fair point, sir.
Shit. So Icebreaker, I love how like that's like the randomness of this though. Like our Icebreaker has comprised maybe 20% of this conversation, but and we forgot about it.
Yeah, it doesn't need to. It's just a thing to get us to onto the next random bullshit topic we got to talk about.
Generally, yeah.
This made me think, because this was a tough one that I had to think about. Is there a movie you love, like you just really love, that you could watch it a few times, but you know is trash? You know it's a bad movie in every way possible, but you're like, I still like this movie.
Mortal Kombat 2.
Really?
Dude, you're so right. I fucking love that movie.
I will watch that movie anytime it's on. It is entertaining
It is
and awful.
hot street trash.
Oh yeah, but that's what makes it entertaining. Is like every time you think this movie couldn't get any more stupid, it does, and it's earnest. Like that's the best part. Is like they're not even in on it. They were actually trying to make a good film, and this is what happened, and that never ceases to entertain me.
What was that movie we were watching the other night? That was Vampire in Brooklyn.
Oh yeah.
That was not a good movie. That was a bad movie. But
Empire in Brooklyn.
it was kind of entertaining enough to be like, I could still watch it.
Yeah, we watched about 3/4 of it.
And honestly, I would have kept going if Sam was just like pretty much out of it. But again, bad. Could I still watch it? Sure, why not?
All right. Well, you are wrong. If you think I'm going to let you slide on watching 3/4 of Vampires in Brooklyn when you turned off the Hateful Eight.
Dude, you're right.
Mine,
I have no room to talk.
mine is Detroit Rock City.
You know, I've only seen that once, but that is sort of like a cult movie for sure.
Yeah, I had a like, what do you call it, ritual where like once a year, some point in a year, I'd watch that movie.
Am I wrong in thinking Edward Furlong is in that?
You are not wrong. He is in
Okay.
that.
Yeah. Okay. Did I keep calling him my brother-in-law, but he's not my brother-in-law. He married my niece, but me and my niece grew up like siblings. So I'm his like uncle-in-law, but dude, he's got like this Edward Furlong energy to his appearance.
Oh, I thought you meant literally.
And his favorite band is Kiss. Well, he grew up loving Kiss. I don't know if I can speak for him on it being his favorite band. But weird though, right?
Yeah. And it was directed by Gene Simmons, I do believe, that movie.
That explains the bad parts.
Yeah. Is it just me, or does he always, or no, it was directed by a guy named Adam Rifkin.
Well, where do the lies end with you?
They never stop. But I always got the feeling that Gene Simmons, probably a really big dickhead.
Really? Did you just get that from everything he's ever said or done in public?
Yeah. Just everything about him screams like, I'm entitled and I'm a prick.
See, the thing is like, I kind of get the vibe that is like his sense of humor.
You think?
Like, I don't think he's honestly that egotistical and ridiculous. I'm not saying he doesn't have an ego, but I think he thinks it's funny when you're in an interview to just start trolling the fuck out of the interviewer. Like, I don't think Gene Simmons, like, if it was just me and him and there was no cameras on, I think he's a troll.
Mm,
that would be my theory.
Yeah.
I think he's a troll.
I don't think it's all acting, but I think like he definitely plays it up.
Yeah.
You know?
You know who else? You know who I actually like? I would rather fucking any day of the week have a one-on-one with Gene Simmons than Glenn Danzig. I hate saying that because the original Misfits are awesome, but like, dude, this guy is just every interaction I just roll my eyes. It's like,
I mean, he does have a great song about moms, though.
Yeah, yes, that's true. Mother, tell your children not to fuck the pool boy.
This pool boy gets some action today.
Yeah, he's getting fucked a lot.
All right.
Yeah.
It's a good day to be a pool boy.
But dude, no, if you ever want to ruin your night, which look up Wicked Pussycat, make sure you get the music video with it of the Danzig song. Dude, it's just the cringiest thing ever. Because I remember I used to just love the original Misfits. I'd listen to them all the time. Then I heard Mother and I was like, hey, that song's cool. I like that song. Like, let's check out some of the other stuff. This was the second thing I clicked on, and I dug no farther. I was like, oh no.
I said that's enough.
How the mighty have fallen. Name me one other than Wicked Pussycat, because that one's mine. Name me one other Danzig song.
I couldn't. Not with
Exactly.
Not a one.
Gun to my head, gun to my dick. I couldn't.
although to be fair, a lot of people I know couldn't really name many Misfits songs either, and those are actually good. So I don't know what my point is anymore.
Well, one of the things I know about Danzig is that between being in Danzig and the Misfits, he had his own band called
Sam Hain.
Yeah, Sam Hain.
Oh, you
And
just Gaelicked out, dude.
well, yeah,
I covered for you. I got you.
thank you. And the only thing I've heard about it is that they're all just songs about Nazis and werewolves.
I don't really care for Sam Hain.
I mean, I don't think it would be good, but I just think it's so funny that this guy who is supposed to be this huge, badass, like, oh yeah, mother, and he's just like fucking werewolves.
See, the thing though is like, hear me out. The Misfits are kind of like that. Like, it's like if you just ran 70s punk. I mean, they were like one of the first like bands that actually had like the punk sound, but like if you ran that through just binging on horror movies all day. So they were thinking about vampires and werewolves and all kinds of shit like that. Like stuff that's like kind of cheesy, but like lovable and charming.
Yeah.
And then the moment that he stepped away from everyone else in the band, which makes no sense, mind you, because he wrote all the fucking songs, the charm was gone, and you were only left with just these like terrible things.
You need the sensible person to balance out the crazy. Otherwise, it's terrible.
Yeah, like for some reason it was like fun when he was singing about like I say fun, but like they're a weird one. Like they have a song called Bullet. It's a really good song, but like it's basically just about like the cover of that album, dude, which is like a really good album. It's called Static Age, is just JFK getting shot in the head and his head exploding.
God damn.
And the song Bullet talks about that, and it starts talking about like weird sexual imagery during this, and it's just a really good but really fucked up song. Or like Last Caress. That's a horrible song. Like, if you just look up the lyrics to that song, you're just like, oh my God. But somehow it worked with the Misfits. And then like as soon as he left, you were just like, nope, nah, mm-mm.
Yeah.
Now the baby killing is weird.
Yeah. What I find funny though is back in the day, you could have the Misfits singing about werewolves and zombies and vampires, and then you had Led Zeppelin singing about, like, they have a whole song about taking the One Ring to Mount Doom. And then that shit just died off until like the like early or mid 90s to late 90s.
Yeah.
Where you got like the Wu-Tang Clan singing about how they come together like Voltron, or that they're swinging through your town like a neighborhood Spider-Man.
Yeah, like there's always good music. What is that thing, the science fiction author that you often quote, who talks about?
Oh, the Sturgeon's principle.
Yes, explain that for the listeners here.
It was a sci-fi author who was told one time, well, he was asked, why are 90% of sci-fi books crap? And he just stopped and looked at her and said, 90% of everything is crap.
Exactly. No,
That's
I love
so
that.
Fucking true.
Because that's how it is with music too. Like the more, and especially when things get more saturated, like any kid with a laptop can make music. I mean, dude, of course you're going to have to sort through, like, there was a sweet spot where we were like hitting it, but then these record companies, I don't know, it gives in its takes, because it's good that anyone can make art and put it out there. But like we just said, it's really hard to make a living doing it now, and it is so oversaturated.
Yeah, because
but then also, yeah, I mean, you go back too far, and now it's like you can't even make music unless you have this certain sound and you're this certain color and you do it this certain way.
Yeah, like I've heard it described that the best thing the internet ever did was give everybody a voice, and then the worst thing the internet did was give everybody a voice.
Yeah. That's how I would make my point if I weren't an idiot.
What are you trying to say?
That I'm an idiot.
I thought I was the idiot.
No, but the fact that you misunderstood my point does actually lend to yours.
So let's.
What?
You know, I said I might be a few shots in. So I mean, I'm getting. I don't need to defend myself. I'm drunk.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
we're
don't want you
doubling
to defend
down.
yourself.
We
I
don't
know.
need to.
It was just an accidental sounding defensive, and I'm like, nah. If I'm what is it called? I'm disciplining myself.
I appreciate it because I wouldn't discipline you because a few different factors. One, you didn't do anything wrong, and two, you're very large.
You know, that was something that 17-year-old kid just kept on saying earlier today. It was like, man, you're so big, no one talk down to you. And I'm just like, I'm over here being like, man, it's such a motherfucker being a little guy.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you just get so shit on just by looks.
Because nobody can see this, you are in arguably much better shape than I am.
No, and I'm not like trying to, like, you're strong as shit, but
It's
like,
just raw natural strength. Not that you don't
Exactly.
work out. I know you do.
But it's just I do feel for you, Chris, sometimes because like you said, you put in all this extra like effort
Yeah.
and just to be strong, and then people just look at me and they're like, "Hey, you do it."
Yeah, no, like I'm literally like, man, I'm literally putting in like weeks of my life. It causes me literal stress outside of the workplace and the gym to like upkeep this, and it does not matter when
Hey.
there's a 6'4" motherfucker
It's
that's
5.
wider than a fridge just because he is.
Well,
You know.
there's a few things to say to that. One, Drew is a genetic freak, if you will.
We can talk about that.
You remember? All right, but we'll cue into that. But two, I want to make the earnest point before it devolves because those moments are rare for this trio.
Yeah.
It does matter, dude, because the thing is you know how much respect I have when something that comes easily to me, I watch someone else persevere and show discipline and show tenacity and show all these character traits that they're refining to do the same thing that came easily to me. And I developed none of that character along the way. I'm not saying this applies to Drew. I'm just saying some shit I'm just naturally good at and someone else isn't, and they put all that work in, man, and they put all that effort, and what they develop along that way is more valuable than the thing they were training to achieve in the first place.
Yeah. Like there's an old saying like hard work beats talent when talent doesn't train.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even
Yeah,
that, even if
for
I
sure.
do, like, say I'm the best, whatever, you know, we'll say scuba diver since it involves no one present. Say that I just am a naturally awesome scuba diver. The character traits that I develop from that coming natural to me, what do I get? Nothing. Someone who shows perseverance and tenacity and strength and discipline and the ability to be embarrassed, the ability to accept failure, they're developing so much character along the way that I don't get because I skipped class.
Yeah.
I skipped class. I don't get that. And really being what good is it to be a scuba diver?
Well, I was
And
about
what
to
good is
say
it to be a good human being?
that's why ugly people are usually funnier because they have to develop a personality to be like. Whereas pretty people can just be like, "I'm here, like look at me."
You
know what I
always
mean?
find the way more relatable way of and shorter way of making my points for me. I appreciate that.
Oh, we're like Star Trek, where you explain something in a really technical detail, and I dumb it down for the layman.
Or I just, as you like to say, took a very long walk for a short drink of water.
Uh,
Yeah, and I don't mean to make it sound like I'm shit on or bitching, but it is funny because like you do train so hard for this because you've been taught. For me, anyway, I've been taught so much shit about how weak or I'm a pussy for this, or that, and so that's why I do this, But then to see that it doesn't really matter, but it's just your own. It's just for you, really, because at later on when I can just do it and no one even thinks that there's a way, then there's that shock value, and that's just as good. That's arguably better.
Well, because it's like,
oh, sorry, go ahead. Go, you first.
it's easy to, put on a shirt and hide broad shoulders, but like I can't wear something that gives me negative height. You know what I mean? Where like it's easier to misconstrue you as somebody who's not also a brick if you're just wearing like slightly baggy clothes. You know what I mean?
Which is actually
Right.
more beneficial in a way. Well, it can be more beneficial in certain contexts. Drew, you're a conspicuous fucking dude. I used to make that joke all the time. My nicknames for Drew and Chris went at Amazon because it was a large flat warehouse. And people would be like, have you seen Drew or Chris? I'm like, dude, it's like looking for a lighthouse and a boat. It's pretty fucking easy, man. Have you scanned from left to right? Oh, there he is.
Dude, yeah, thank you. That's awesome.
So in my mind, say somebody's about to rob us and they're like, okay, we're going to get the money from both of them, but we're going to shoot one of them and we're going to try to take down the other. Like 9 times out of 10, I'd get shot because they like take down the big guy and then they try to run for you.
Sure.
And then you're just jacked and then you break their leg.
That is the immediate. That's how my old boss and buddy Tyler described why he concealed carried as opposed to open carried. He said, if somebody comes in and they see I'm the only guy with a gun, who do you think's going to get shot first?
Yeah. See, that's why I've been training myself. I've been shooting myself with small caliber bullets just all over my body, building up an immunity so that in a real life scenario, if somebody tries to shoot me with like anything less than a 9mm, I'm good.
So I love that A, you think it works like snake venom, and B, that you think anybody's carrying something less than a 9mm in 2023 in America, in the Midwest. You just keep zooming in, dude. No, dude, you're getting AR'd if you go into somebody's house.
Right.
At minimum, you're getting 9mm down the street.
Well, you know what? I'm still building up an immunity. You know what? I'm not done yet.
Maybe you'll get to 9mm someday.
I'm close.
Hey, man, 50 Cent got shot how many times? And he still made that awful video game.
Yeah, 2 of them.
Shit, he made 2?
Yeah.
Fuck me. See, this is... Actually, 50 Cent's... His internet presence is actually kind of fucking hilarious.
How so?
I can't remember who it was, so just forgive the... just blatant... ignorant gaps in this story, but basically he was feuding with this other guy, and they kept talking to each other, talking shit to each other online.
It was Floyd Mayweather.
Okay. Oh, that's so much better. Thank you for that detail. So eventually, as they're talking all this like just hard ass shit to each other, 50 Cent hits him with, I dare you to record yourself reading one full chapter of Harry Potter, because I bet you can't. So read that shit out loud. Yeah, and I just thought that was the most hilarious insult, and it was met with not meeting the challenge. That could have been either A, that's below me, like Obama presenting his birth certificate, or B, Floyd Mayweather could not read a full chapter of Harry Potter.
Well, what makes it even funnier is 50 Cent straight up said in the tweet, he's like, if you can record it and prove you did, I will donate $50,000 to a charity of your choosing. No strings attached, but you have to read. You have to show me that you can read.
See, that's the thing, is I bet if somebody was like, Obama, if you produce your birth certificate, then I'll donate $100,000 to these starving children. He'd be like, all right, now I will. But when you just said I should do it because my middle name Hussein, that's stupid.
See,
I'm not going to engage that. That's like Caleb. I bet you're not a U.S. citizen. I'd be like, okay. And then I just go to work. I don't fucking care. Like,
see, you know what kills me about Barack Hussein Obama being like, well, I mean, his middle name's Hussein. He's got to be, like in with the enemy. If he was stupid enough, or his like whoever's above him at that point is stupid enough to get a guy elected called Hussein, I think that stops being an us problem. Like that, you know what I mean? Like that is no longer the issue. It's the
national
fact that
security. Does not exist.
Yeah,
he is the leader.
His name could have been like Bomb America, And it would have been like, I don't know about this guy.
Yeah.
And he still got, and it, like, he still got, like, that'd be the easiest. Oh man, I can't believe they're doing this. Like, oh my God, this was the easiest thing we could ever
Yeah.
done.
Turns out that hijacking several planes and committing terrorist acts in America was really, really fucking hard and only marginally successful. But becoming the leader of their nation? Priceless.
Much easier. Especially with the middle name Hussein.
Right. Like, and so I think that's the thing, though. That's kind of doubles back to like the idea of showing somebody a meme. Like, I hate it. Like, it has nothing to do with politics. I don't care how you feel about Obama.
Yeah.
If I show you a meme that's just a joke about him, why can't we just fucking laugh at that?
Well, that's
Like,
actually,
or like in this scenario, like if you hate Donald Trump because he's the most like sensationalist leader we've had as of recent, if you
Yeah.
hate him, and then I show you a funny meme with Donald Trump in it, why are you not allowed to laugh at it? Like, why does it have to immediately turn into you think that I'm a Trumper and blah blah blah? It's like, listen, dude, it's funny.
yeah.
He got
He
what?
threatened to nuke a hurricane. Like, that's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Learn to laugh at yourself for one, and B,
Well,
learn
I
to
actually have a
like.
story about that.
Oh, I'm sure you have no trouble laughing at yourself, but go on.
Well, yeah. It's about that whole, like, why can't we just laugh at this person? So this was when Obama was still president, and I was working in a lumber yard, and I was like, man, I bet you it would be fucking hysterical to try to see Barack Obama, like, prank call pizzas, be like, I want 15 pizzas. And I just started doing, like, a terrible Barack Obama impression, like, I want 15 larges to Senator McCain, boom.
We don't understand it.
Yeah, and this dude who, if I say the word redneck, whatever your first thought is, yeah, that's it. He comes running past me, and he hears me say Obama, and he goes, "You talking about Obama?" I was like, "No, I'm making a joke." He goes, "Fuck him," and he didn't break stride. And I'm like, Jesus, man, like, you had no,
buddy.
right? Like, are you
Is everything okay at home?
like, you clearly think about the president more than, like, people who support him do.
Oh, for sure, dude.
Right.
If it were feasible, I'd probably be a libertarian, but since it isn't, I'm not.
Yeah, not saying for real.
But dude, yeah, bet your ass.
It's that,
like, oh, go on.
It's just that unwarranted hate that is.
Yeah, like,
Just I really think that at a base tier might really be the problem with society. We're just so quick to hate without any context. Just, oh, this person, hate them. Why? I heard this thing once.
Yeah,
Okay.
it is. It's
Okay.
I mean, like, I don't know.
I love the pause where we were all waiting. I heard this thing once.
No, that's it.
No, that was it. That was like, and you're absolutely right. I think like what's weird is I went like opposite arc here because like when I was a teenager, I was like Captain Punk Rock, like cheetah print pants. I had a white T-shirt one time that I just wrote "fuck you" on it with a Sharpie and went to my mom's work at the Cabinet for Families and Children.
Jesus, you little fucking edgelord.
I was an edgelord extreme, right? And back then, dude, hated just any. Were you a celebrity? Fuck you. That was my entire creed. And now dude, through like all of my character arc, I've landed almost like on the opposite, where I'm like, guys, these are humans. Like, they have all the same thoughts and dreams and fears and anxieties. Like, they go through different things in life. I'm not saying that it isn't a pissing contest about whose quality of life is better. But it's, you know these people are humans nonetheless. And like, when you're sitting there tearing, like, you see one social media post and that's enough for you to just denounce the inherent value of a human being. Like, chill. All right.
Yeah.
They're stupid and naive and often divorced from reality, but like, they're humans, and we can't forget that. Like, and so what is the difference between a celebrity and myself? I don't know.
Mhm.
If you give me that much money, could I? Right now, it's easy to say I'd have more integrity about it, but that's
Yeah,
easy for me to say. If I win the lottery, I could be a total piece of shit. I don't fucking know.
I I honestly feel like celebrities, people that put themselves in the public eye like that, have all these followers, all this attention. You know, whether it's celebrity, A-list, movie star to YouTube or TikToker, they're they're humans that are putting themselves through almost supernatural uh environments, you know,
Yeah, they are
because
the
Yeah.
modern ability, and I guess like I know Drew's sitting over there shaking, just waiting to shoot the nearest rich person. I'm
Well,
kidding. No, but
yeah.
like I think you would understand the point. Like I don't know how to articulate it well, so maybe
well,
you
what I
could, since
think,
that is your new job.
well, what I think is, if you put yourself out there into a public space where you are no longer a private person, like us doing this is some way on the same level as being like a movie star. Like we are putting a name out there. We are in the public forum,
We're
essentially.
being vulnerable
Yeah.
and in the
So
public forum.
yeah, and so anything we say can be reviewed and can be talked about. And I think we can't be then like, oh, I can't believe there's consequences to the things I say, or like anything like that. So
Okay.
when somebody goes, like when I don't know, like fucking Leonardo DiCaprio, who is now getting pissy that people are talking about him dating exclusively like 22-year-olds. He's like, I just don't. It makes me feel bad. It's like you put yourself out there. You're a millionaire who is in the public eye, so you don't get to have a private life anymore. So when people talk about your life because you put it out there, you can't then be like, well, I don't want that. Like you chose that. Every for
Right.
you know
I'm
from
sorry.
from dicks to nuts. Like you. So when people say something, you can't then be like, well, no, this is my pride. Like you put that out there. You know what I mean?
Right. Dude, and can I just say something real quick where I'm like, if people saying this truth that you are doing, that you are dating these unreasonably at your age, unreasonably young women, and it's making you feel bad, it's because it's supposed to. Shame is your conscience saying, hey, I don't think maybe we should be doing this.
Yeah. Well, I agree with that. I guess like there's a few things though. Like for one, the weight you give something is generally the weight it carries. Like my girlfriend, she's 9 years younger than me, and I can sit there and make people will make jokes about that, and I don't give a shit because I'm not dating her because she's 9 years younger than me. I'm dating her because of who she is. So
Yeah.
kind of like
Right.
you were saying, Chris, like if people make jokes, no guilty conscience. I'm just like, yeah, that was strange when I first met her. I was like, I don't know, that's a big age gap. And then I got to know her. I was like, I'm not going to rule you out just because of the age gap either, though.
Right.
Yeah. But like,
But then
Well,
I think there's
I,
also sometimes there's shame that carries that is a product of a culture. There's lots of people
well,
who are ashamed of being gay, and that isn't shameworthy, but it is. They feel that same effect because
well,
everyone's raised them to believe it is.
okay, but so to your point, it's like people have been saying this shit about Leo the whole time he's been doing this. He's always done this, right?
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, he's getting older, and as he gets older and older, it becomes more and more strange and more like, okay, dude, what are you really doing? Therefore, I think for him, it's also becoming more and more like deep down, he knows, like, yeah, what am I doing? This is kind of weird, dude.
okay,
Dude,
yeah.
yeah,
When you
I
put it
do
that way,
agree. I do agree with
Because,
you
like,
in
there
Leo's
is,
specific case.
if Leo would have just been like laughed it off, like, yeah, I fucked 22-year-old models on my yacht, like
Right. That's just, I
fuck
know what
both
I'm
my nuts.
doing. I'm
Yeah, I
self-aware.
like it. But it's the fact that he then had to go be like, it just like I date these women and they're younger than me, but like the internet seems to have a problem with it, and that makes me uncomfortable. It's like, bro, like it's because you're giving it weight now that like you can't then be like, well, why are they saying it's strange? It's like, because it is, man.
It is.
yeah.
It is. Like you have to acknowledge, and I think like to lean back or to backpedal way too far in conversation for any normal human to relate to. as is my job.
Mhm.
When we were talking about, you were talking about furries earlier, like it doesn't hurt anybody, blah, blah, blah. So, but at the same time, you have to accept that you are diverging from social norms. And so even if it doesn't matter if you're right or wrong, it's not a matter of right or wrong. You are alienating people.
Yeah.
And so you have
Right.
to understand that going in. So like when I go into a situation, like you guys know me, I'm a weirdo. Like, and I just don't care that I'm weird. And when I
Yeah.
alienate people, I'm like, I didn't want to alienate you, but I also understand that what I
Yeah.
just said was alienating.
Yeah, there's not a
Yeah.
shock, and that's where I think is the weird part of it. Like you're shocked that the things you do that are alienated people. Like, how are you shocked at that?
It's the lack of self-awareness. Like if somebody was like, "Hey
Yeah,
man, Caleb says some really fucking fucked up stuff." If I were just to be like, "Oh, I can't believe you think that," then your first thought would be, how do you not know that
Yeah.
you say ridiculous shit? Like you have
yeah,
to
Right.
know that. Do you really lack that self-awareness?
yeah. I mean, I
Uh,
feel like a lot of people do. They lack self-reflection too.
yeah. I think that's about the best way you could put that is they don't just ever sit back and think about the things that they've just done or said and go, how could I have done that better? How could I improve on that? It's always just and that may be just a product of our society too, where things are just so fast paced now where you don't really get time to do that, you know?
You're not. Yeah,
Yeah,
I actually think that's a really good thing to bring up because I don't think that the way that we live
It's not
now,
conducive to it.
it's not conducive to it, but also it's not conducive to a whole lot of anything except for being very anxious.
Yeah.
People act like anxiety is now the norm. And I don't think that's
yeah,
indicative of an increase in mental illness. I think it's indicative of forcing a species to live in a way it isn't intended to live. If you take any other species and you put them in a zoo and you're like, why are they unhappy? What do? You modify their environment, you modify their lifestyle to accommodate the species. But with us, we're just like, well, I guess there's something wrong with me since I don't like working 80 hours a week. You're
yeah,
like, no, dude, it's
Right.
because like that's not how your brain spent 6 million years developing to be.
yeah,
No, it was
And
like,
you can't,
hey, I need food, water, shelter, and that's going to take up most of my day. And when
yeah.
I'm done doing that and I can't do it anymore, I'm going to go to fucking sleep and try and do it again tomorrow.
And I'm not speaking
I
from the place of like those modern tribalist mindset kind of people. I'm not saying that all modernity is bad. I just mean to say that like there are certain things where it's like, listen, man, like you're like, man, I'm really stressed out because recently life is horribly stressful. And you're like, yeah.
No, that
yeah.
totally makes
Look
sense.
around.
Yeah.
That's
Uh,
weird how that works. If I keep just kicking you, you experience pain. That's really weird. Doctors can't explain it.
right.
Yeah, it's strange that
Especially
your broken arm isn't healing when I keep twisting it.
Exactly.
in this society now, like you have to be doing, you can't really stop working, even if you're not doing 80 hours at your quote unquote job. You got to be doing 80 hours of at least work,
Yeah.
on something
Yeah,
Hmm.
to survive,
Especially if you
and that's,
have a home.
oh,
Like,
fuck.
God forbid you have
Especially if you
land.
don't have your home. If you don't have a home, you're putting in arguably more money for something you don't even own and you won't even get a return on.
Yeah.
So it's, I mean, rent rates these days, dude, we're so lucky right now that we're living at a place that hasn't increased our rent for 10 years.
Yeah. No,
It's
dude, that's
unbelievable.
yeah, we narrowly evaded a rent increase. It went up by $200 right after we signed on this place.
There
damn.
Um,
you go.
so we
And
like
how long
slipped
ago was
in.
that?
Literally, we just moved in last Saturday,
And you signed
and
when?
we signed maybe a month and a half, 2 months ago.
Bro.
So yeah, it went up that quick.
That fucking quick at a time where everyone understands that people's income is going lower and lower.
Yeah, the dollar
Yeah.
doesn't go as far.
So,
At this point, if
That's
you don't
strange.
think we have all the ingredients for a recession, you're in denial.
Yeah.
Oh no, a recession is happening. It's a matter of when. Is it going to be later this year? Will it be next year?
Yeah. We're slapping
You know.
band-aids on it and we're spraying as much peroxide as we can. But
We're as close to having it without actually it being called a recession.
it's a
We are
diet
edging
recession.
we are edging the
Basically.
fuck out of this recession.
Yeah.
It's like Pepsi won. Of
Yeah, in fact,
recessions.
like I was listening to a podcast and they're saying like the markers and stats that we're seeing now are on par with the Great Recession, or rather Great Depression.
Yeah.
Yeah. So straddle in, motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Here
Oh, for
we go.
sure.
It's gonna be a bumpy ride.
Well,
Yeah.
to bring it back to well, not to bring it back, but sort of on topic, but sort of off topic, because this made me laugh.
Yeah, fuck it.
You guys talked about libertarianism, or like you're close to being one.
Right.
There is a book that came out in 2020 called "A Libertarian Walks into a Bear," and it is about a tiny town in America where they just did that. They became a full libertarian thing in 2004. But what they didn't seem to realize is that when you don't have, trash collection, or you use tents to get off the grid, in a place like where they did, there's a lot of bears. You can kind of see where this whole thing sort of devolves.
Yeah. Like
Oh.
I do love that. Sounds like a fun read. And like I cannot pretend that I am savvy enough to like really have anything more than what I've referred to as my larval opinion.
Mhm.
But Rand Paul sucks. I know that. I'm not saying he's. I think he is a. I don't think he's an example of libertarianism. I think he's an example of betraying his own viewpoint. But nonetheless, like, it's really hard to. Sometimes, like, I've met different personalities. Like, some people, it's just so hard. You're trying to speak to them at all, and like, I feel like all they're doing is they're stuck on caps lock saying taxation is theft.
Mhm.
And you're like, I'm really just, but like, I just want to speak with you. Like, I don't even feel like I'm being informed.
Yeah.
I feel like you're just saying speaking points. And that's weird.
Yeah.
Because we're just two guys in a room. Like, chill. But yeah, I don't. Yeah, some of the experience, but like I do get like some of the points, like being like an amateur philosophy fan. Like I get some of Ayn Rand's ideas.
Mhm.
I do, like I really do. I understand her ideas, like sociologically, or even like just like as a personal individual philosophy. I'm just not sure how they translate economically, because I think a lot of times the problem with libertarianism is that it turns into the like laissez-faire capitalism.
Yeah.
Because the thing is that people don't self-regulate.
Yeah, the second you get an extra few dollars to like get yourself above the competition, then it can just snowball from there, and then it's over.
Yeah, people don't. It's not a self-regulatory thing. The natural state of humans. This might sound dark or cynical, but like to me, the natural state of humans is might makes right. And so we have to come up with regulations to stop that.
See, I think that's
Because
true,
most of
but
the
I
time
also
with
think-
humans, like we're just like, well, there's more of us than there are of you, or I'm bigger than you are, or I mean, I have better weapons. I'm just gonna do what I want to do. Fuck you.
I mean, that's a lot
Yeah.
of the U.S., isn't it? Like,
Does happen to be what it devolves into. If you have more money, you have more power, you have more weapons, whatever that it boils down to, you have more power.
It's power,
Therefore,
yeah.
you can go stepping above and over anyone you want to.
Yep. And that's why I don't think we should endorse a might makes right philosophy. I think we should accept that that is the natural state of man. And then, at least as far as civilization goes, I think it falls apart on an individual or a community scale. Communities tend to be tightly wound. So I think we talked about that before, but like on a grand scale where it's like, hey, do you care about citizen number 2325678? And you're like, I don't.
Never met him.
Pull the plug and give me an extra $20 a year. Like, that's how people think.
So
just don't let me know you did it.
Capitalism at a base level works because it's basically voting with your dollar. And if
$1
it were
make
that
you holler.
simple, I think it would work. But the fact is the more money that a company gets, the more they can either they can advertise more and just have their products in your face more. Therefore, you're going to think about their products when you buy them. So the mighty get mightier.
Mm-hmm.
Or in a much darker sense, which tends to happen more and more and more, is they're going to not only have the power to advertise more than you, therefore they can sell a shittier product at probably less than what you can, but they can now also talk to the politicians and just cut you out entirely from the game.
Especially like lobbyism being such a thing, and like we have a word for it now.
Bad.
But like I think we've we've talked about this before. Is like when you have the vocabulary, sometimes having a vocabulary is helpful, and sometimes it's baneful, because we say, oh, lobbyism. Well, what did you call that for the rest of human development? We just called it the norm.
Or bribing.
And I'm not saying it's okay, but yeah, I mean, noble families, rich people, like people that are born into money and power, people who can use their gold to get their way. That's the normative state of human development. It's not okay, and it's not right. That's why we need the regulations to stop it. But now we try to pretend like we have those regulations. We want to have our cake and eat it too. Yes, we have the regulations, and also we engage in lobbyism and people moving money around and being completely fucking exploitative about it.
I feel like now, like, okay, so we have the regulations, but because we have the regulations, now instead of calling it bribing, which was what it really is, but it's a nasty term. Yeah. That's a nasty term that everyone understands and knows right away, and no one likes it. But you hear lobbying, and a lot of people don't even know what the fuck you're talking about.
Yeah, like, oh, they're just trying to talk about their, it's their claim. They can talk about it in open court.
Yeah,
like, they can make an argument for it. But now when they spend, tobacco execs spend, $7 million to make sure that their shit doesn't get regulated. Because, like, what you said about capitalism being like you vote with your dollar. But say you're hungry and somebody's like, well, I'll sell you this bag of potatoes for $1. Well, now you can't vote, and now he has $2 to double his own vote, so he gets what he wants.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's kind of
the underlying problem. That's like the most simplest, like that's how it could be abused.
And that's the unfortunate part about it, is how it is. It is based largely off goodwill. And unfortunately, that's what we lack a lot of.
Yeah, but although I do shop there.
That's the only place we can afford nowadays.
But the thing is like, well, yeah, I mean, that is a tough one, because there is an intersection. Like, once again, sometimes vocabulary is helpful, and sometimes it just becomes a lazy way of labeling. So it's like, what we call capitalism and what we call socialism are very much buzzwords for competing political ideologies between competing powers who have all these different ulterior motives and agendas. Like, but really, at the end of the day, there's just kind of what seems to be working in your weirdo situation and what doesn't seem to be working in your other alternative weirdo situation. You can't take the political structure of America and apply it to China, and you can't take the political structure of China and apply it to America. It just won't work. They could both improve,
Oh yeah.
but like there's nothing you can do. Like there's not a one size fits all with this kind of shit, I guess is my
Oh
point.
no.
That's where I'd say you're using vocabulary more as a weapon now.
And it always is. It does.
Oh,
It turns
yeah,
into
true.
buzzwords and
I mean, what's that old quote?
demagoguery shit.
The pen is mightier than the sword.
Oh, I thought it was the penis. I've been
Penis
saying that wrong
mightier.
this whole time.
God damn it.
Oh shit.
Don't you hate when you
Edward?
spend your whole life thinking the thing wrong?
No, I love it.
Oh, yeah.
And always keeps it fresh, you know.
Mm-hmm. Or horribly funky.
Well, you want to know a fun fact about Sparta?
Yes.
All right.
This
They
time.
were one. Yeah.
I'd rather not.
Well, too bad.
Tell me an
Unless you wanna-
unfun fact. If this fact isn't fun, I'm going to be pissed.
Okay. In the ancient, I guess, Mesopotamian world, wherever that took place, Greece, Athens, Sparta,
The
elderly
city-states
people,
were still weird, yeah.
elderly people were treated better in Sparta than anywhere else in that area because people in Sparta were like, oh, if you manage to live to an old age in Sparta, you are something else.
Yeah, you're some
Ah.
sort of like superhuman.
Yeah, so like they'd get up and let an old person like take their seat at the Coliseum and shit like that, and like let them eat first, or take a shit in the communal shit pot first.
Dude, there's something to that. Like Sparta, they were also philosophers. Their philosophy just happened to become extremely like savage. I don't know. I don't know another word to say it, but like but there is a point to what you just said that I think I've made the opposite point where people are like, you should respect your elders. And I'm like, that gets increasingly more difficult because you're not 60 because you are wise or you are more capable. You're 60 because you are a walking testimony to modern medicine. We have replaced every part of you. You're the $1 million man. Like,
yeah.
So back at then, that makes sense. If somebody is 70, you're like, damn, this guy knows a thing or two about life. This is not his first rodeo. When you meet people who are 60 nowadays, it's like, yeah, I ate poorly and smoked and drank and was sexist. And you're like, cool, good talk.
Yeah.
I'm not saying
and I've ran
everybody
down
who's
my
old is
whole
like
family
that,
around me.
yes, there are people who are our elders who are extremely wise and capable human beings who we should listen to in that same reverence, but there's also those who are not.
Yeah.
And the vast majority are those who are not, and that's why it's called mediocre podcast.
Ooh, snap.
They call them average for a reason. You know what I mean?
I mean, that's where we stop it, right? We're not getting better than that.
Perfect.
I do feel like that would be a good point to wind that on down. So, all right. Well, that was a fun episode. I feel like going in, we came in with the right mindset, got things taken care of. I only burped a few times, and it was toward the beginning.
Yeah, I think this one worked really well.
So Kyle should be proud of that. But since we were trying to use an icebreaker, we incorporated the icebreaker, but it was not even an icebreaker. It was a mid-conversation breaker. But
it is true. It was a come back to it moment.
We literally started it halfway through. I wasn't even sure if that's what we were going for, so I literally gave it no thought before this podcast.
That's how I think that's the way. It's the way of our people. But
fair enough.
Those who, since we have stuff like that, we have our own little list we've been creating of like conversation topics or icebreakers. We'll kind of pick one for an episode. But if anybody has any good ideas, feel free to drop them in the comments or contact us or whatever means. If you know us personally, send us ideas and we'll try to incorporate your idea and give you credit for it.
Yeah.
And also, So, and to loop back around, I remembered way earlier I had mentioned my brother's YouTube channel. So to inorganically just slam that into the back of this, if you want to check out that channel that I was complimenting him on, it's called A Dead Guys Productions. It's not a planned name drop or anything, but I figured since I mentioned him, I should at least let people know where to check his channel out if they want to.
Maybe drop a link in the description.
I'm kidding. I will.
Nah.
I feel like I've done my part.
That's where I draw the line.
Yeah, you want me to copy and paste something? Now, sorry.
No.
I come in this half-assed, and that's how I explain to everybody that's the way I'm going to keep it.
I don't need to hear about your sexual escapades.
I come in half-assed, I leave half-assed. Thank you and good day.
I bid you
adieu. But that's that. I would like to throw in I want to hear comments on what you liked, what you didn't like, what you'd like to hear more of. Maybe, just everything really. Just help us fine tune this thing really.
Yeah, feedback, fine tuning, and I have noticed I get more feedback with people like reaching me personally, but just for the sake of all three of us being able to easily navigate the feedback, just drop it in a comment or something.
Yeah.
I'm not going to discourage you from texting me. I don't care. It's but Drew and Chris have no idea what you're saying unless I screenshot it and send it to them.
True.
Just leaving us in the dark, little sad boys.
Yep. Sad boys crying, fucking the pool boy. That's what you're making them out to be.
Not at least we're fucking the pool boy. It makes it better.
They would probably rather be doing that than reading your comment. But if the ideal situation is both, so just leave the comment. They can read it while they're fucking the pool boy.
Yeah. Pool boy sits there and shuts the fuck up.
They're not mutually exclusive.
Yeah, nice. I'm reading my comments while I'm doing my work.
Putting the work, put many hours, and take what's ours. Oof.
Like we said, it's a busy world. You got to multitask. All right. Well, that was fun, guys. I will. This will be up tomorrow. We recorded this one basically the day before release because I had to move.
Yeah.
So.
Hey, we got it in. By God, that's what counts.
That's what she said.
Got me right in the buzzer.
All right. Sayonara, capybaras.
Yeah. Have a good one, guys.